You got an apple box in here? You don't have one? It's fine. Master Ken here with another episode of Master Ken's Privates. With me today is Timothy Thatcher, also known as Tiny Tim. I don't know how he got the name. What he is going to teach us is some sort of wrestling, which is...
catch wrestling.
Catch wrestling, which of course is what dog catchers in England study in order to wrestle dogs to the ground, I believe. So, what kind of moves are you going to show us?
Today I will show the gravet and I will show the half crab.
Gravet, of course, is a type of tool that you use to remove tires. You know, you have the gravet and you sort of take the nuts off. It's a nut tool. Calves are burning.
So as I said, we're going to start with the gravet. Key with the gravet, cutting bone right there. It's going to come underneath the cheekbone and dig into that. Now the pressure of that is going to be on the neck and on the face. So it turns the head and bends the head right there. Lots of pressure. So be very careful. So I'm going to come across right here. I'm going to block his head with my body and block his shoulder with my hand right there. So there he can't come. I make a fist and I pull up. And that's what is a catch on that. So, just in case we're too slippery or technique's not right, whatever, heat of the moment. As I come up, he'll slide out, but his leg will be led forward. So from there, we step in, catch the ear, in, pull it down, into the takedown. Now, from here, I have control of the leg, so it's into the half crab. I can step out, once again, same thing. Cutting bone right here, this time across the Achilles. So in here, high on the chest, first all the way up. That's the first go, and then we can turn him all the way over and hook right there. This is not a common way to get into the half crab from the gravet. You usually don't link those two moves together. But you have to be prepared for that because you don't know what's going to happen during that. So I can kick him too on the way over. That adds some more stuff. People say pro wrestling is a bit rough, but wise man once said something about three rabbits, you know, when they were battling out. They were sitting on a log and they decided to... No, it wasn't rabbits, it was squirrels. So three squirrels are sitting on a log and they... no, it was raccoons. Yeah, it was raccoons. And they're on the log and they were seeing a crab or... I don't know, it doesn't matter.
All right, so my main problem with the wacky, wide world of Tiny Tim wrestling is that it doesn't seem real. And I just went in and I was on the internet while they were doing whatever they were doing in here, and I looked it up. Turns out all wrestling is fake. So that's why that move seemed a little fishy. Luckily, in Ameri-Do-Te, there's an ocean of options. As the saying goes, there's plenty of finishes in the sea. So I'm going to show you some salty submissions right now that I recommend you use instead of what you just watched. First of all, before I ever grab somebody, I want to strike them. Otherwise, they're going to counter grab. If I grab him, he's just going to grab back. So what I want to do is strike him first. I'm going to take what would normally be called a knife hand, but in this context, we're going to call a fin. And because I cut my nails this morning, it's not a sharp fin. It's a dull fin. I'm going to strike upward. Okay, hitting him right on the temple. And if I do it hard enough, I will open up the skin, opening up the top of the head, so he'll be scalloped. Next thing I'm going to do, when you strike someone in the brain, they tend to clam up. I want access to that vulnerability. So I'm going to do what the famous prison chef Gordon Ramsay said, which is whenever you're fighting an oyster, you're going to have to shuck him in the mouth. Take my fin here. I'm going to grab, open him up, and I'm going to shove this in his mouth, okay? I'm pushing on the tongue. Here. All right? Now, I'm going to look for a weak point, which in this case is his knee, and I'm going to do a point break. Okay? Then I'm going to do a takedown. Here. I'm going to go for that same submission that he showed us to show you what's wrong with it. If you go for a half crab roll, he's going to roll right out of it. I lose that. But I'm going to take my fist and do a hammerhead strike, leaving him shell-shocked, and in position for my finishing move, which I call the flying haddock. Going for the top rope. Here we go. Hip! And as always, re-stomp that groin. Hip! All right, that was another episode of Master Ken's Privates. I'd like to thank Tim for coming by and teaching us how to catch some crabs. And remember to tune in next time for another episode of Master Ken's Privates. Puss.
Puss.
Buy my new book, The Dow of Master Ken, available now on Amazon.com. Autographed copies available at EnterTheDojoShow.com. Re-stop the groin. Buy my book.